haircut tomorrow. Not with Connie.
You're going to spend more and get less, huh?
Honey.
You've never been happy with any of your haircuts.
No,
Doesn't matter where you go. I don't think I've
That's
ever
nice.
heard you come home and say, I got a really good
That's
haircut.
not true.
It is
That's not
true.
true.
That's 100% true.
That's not true.
It's 100%
Why are you talking
true.
like that?
Because that's true.
That's not true.
That is true.
That is not true at all.
It's true. Everybody says so.
You can't just say something is true and make it true by saying it's true.
Everybody says so.
That's not true.
Everybody says so.
Not true.
Believe me. Okay. Hello, Christy Kincaid Norris. Looks like we can start the podcast. First one on. First in, first out, Christy. Hello, Rosa Caceres. Hello, ACNC12 Adrian. Angela Boone. Amanda. Well, hello, Amanda. Rachel Boren.
Ooh, well, goodness.
Oh, Hannah Herb, you sent us a letter and I didn't print it. We're going to have to do that next time. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you.
Can you pull it up separately?
Hello, Amber. I think we're going to have enough to probably talk about. We did letters last time. Hello, Julie's Overalls. New subscriber to Moto Alonso. Thank you, Julie. One of my very, very best customers. One of the OG hype gals. Hello, Beth T. Duh. Smash it. Hello, Mike Boone. Mike, I've got some guitar equipment I need to unload. I was just thinking about that. I was looking at Facebook Marketplace. I don't know that I want to unload my acoustics, but I have an electric and I have 2 amplifiers that are just taking up space. They're pretty nice amps. What should I do? Facebook Marketplace? You can't eBay that stuff because it's so freaking heavy. You can't ship it. So I guess maybe Facebook Marketplace, see if somebody will come swing by. Facebook Marketplace. Okay. Hello, Charles. There are wacky marketing departments texting me. Let's see what's going on. Or a wacky marketing department's like 6 hours behind on the text messages. Thank you, Amber.
6 hours.
Hands down. Favorite podcast, she says.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate your support very much.
Ready? Gotta be done within an hour. Isn't that what time Gutfeld comes on?
I'm not sure what time exactly.
All right. And I forgot tonight was the Golden Bachelorette. Just forgot.
What's tonight?
The Golden Bachelorette. I haven't watched The Bachelor or Bachelorette. We can talk about that. It's fine.
The Bachelorette franchise. And I'm having a hard time seeing anything.
Well, that light
I can't
is
see
really
shit.
bright. It's really bright.
Is it because of the light? Because I'm
I
having
don't
a hard
know.
time seeing light.
And I have a headache. I took 3 ibuprofen. I still have a headache.
We're not off to a good start here.
It's really bright. Maybe you can
Maybe you can just.
What? What did you do over there? You didn't do anything.
Yeah, I did.
It's still bright.
Well, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at the light.
Don't do that.
Oh.
My shoulders. Show everybody how you. Golly, rub my shoulders. I want y'all to see what I go through. Rub my shoulders for me, please. No, really. Do it like you really would. Harder.
What?
See how long that lasted? That's not a joke. That's not a joke at all.
Not true.
It is true.
Not true. Hello,
Who do you believe?
Albert.
Who do you believe?
Hello, Wheeze.
All right, let's get going.
Hashtag where's Wheezy? Hashtag who's Wheezy?
Because the longer I have to stare in this light, oh my gosh, it's so bright.
I'm going to make you stare in it more.
Purposely moving in slow motion. Test 1, 2. Test.
Wilma Fingerdew. Please pick up the red courtesy phone. Wilma Fingerdew.
Man,
Please
you
pick
need
up
to
the
go
red.
back to the drawing board
Why?
because you use the same ones over and over.
They're good sound checks.
You used to have like a sheet of them.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to look at.
Oh God. Welcome to A Sandwich and Some Lovin' podcast. Yes, that's the right podcast. I do too. I had to think for a minute. Kellie Rasberry Evans. This is my husband and podcast co-host, Alan Evans.
A train in the house.
Yeah, for a minute there, I was like, wait, what podcast am I doing?
I only do one.
You only do one. Maybe you should do more than one.
And I'm fully invested in what I'm doing
Maybe
now.
you should branch out.
Unlike somebody.
Maybe you should branch out and do a solo project.
I may do a solo project.
Maybe we both should.
This is the second week you've brought this up. Maybe you're speaking, what do you call it? Speaking it into existence.
Yes, maybe I'm planting the seed until you realize, oh, it's your idea that we do solo projects. We'll see how it goes.
All kidding aside, okay, to your point, I hate that. That's corporate speak. To your point, Moto Alonso, my YouTube channel, is going strong now. I'm starting to create content. You're
in the zone.
Well, I'm just getting started, but I've started to post more stuff at Moto Alonso if you want to follow along motorcycle stuff. But
that's on Instagram and a YouTube channel.
That's true. But one of my ideas is every once in a while to do a solo podcast, like a YouTube podcast. I'm going to do it on video, and it will be motorcycle related, but there will be some A-Train Hot Sports opinions too.
About what?
About anything. So I'm going to do a little bit of motorcycle and I'll do a little bit of something.
So you are thinking about doing a solo project. This could be breaking up the band.
Why is it such a big deal when I do it, but you've got all these other things going on? It's fine.
I got a lot going on.
Oh, you got a lot.
But it's fine. It's fine. We're still here. And we're, really appreciative. I was talking to our friend Sammy the other day, and he was so excited we're going back to every week.
Oh, yeah, Sammy.
Yeah, very excited about that. A big fan, so I appreciate that
Thank you,
very
Sammy.
much. And to everybody who listens, whether we do it every other week or every week, we appreciate the loyal, the faithful, the few. That's you.
The few
listening right now.
So, I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay.
Well, can I just get this another thing just off my chest real fast?
Sure.
Okay. So we are broadcasting from the home orifice.
The extremely bright home office.
It's very bright.
I guess I have a little headache. Peek behind the kimono. I took 3 ibuprofen, and that light shining in my eyes ain't helping. But maybe it's not as bright as usual. It just seems brighter.
So, I have a thank you note here, or not a thank you note. I have a note. If you're watching on the YouTube, we're broadcasting also on the YouTube. So I am wearing a Come and Go shirt. This is my new.
Oh, that's a store.
This is my new Come and Go shirt.
KUM.
Yes. So
ampersand go.
Yes. So when I went to Sturgis, I was in the great state of Wyoming, and I rolled into, I think it was Cheyenne, and I rolled into a Come and Go convenience store because I wanted a Come and Go t-shirt. But of course, every swinging dick that holds a hammer had gone through that.
Why?
Why what?
What does that even mean? How about just everybody that went in there wanted the same thing?
Every Tom, Dick, and Harry?
Anyway.
You can say it either way. Every guy, everybody.
Why can't you just say that?
Every person, every peoples who went into said Come and Go wanted a t-shirt. So,
every man doesn't necessarily have a penis, Alan.
So they were
your statement was very offensive.
So they were all sold out, is my point. I told this story on the podcast, and one of our listeners, Elise and Tyler Hartley, sent me a Come and Go t-shirt.
How nice.
How nice is that? And they sent me a Harley Davidson t-shirt that it's not in here, but it has a weird looking toad on it. It's not Horny Toad, because Horny Toad Harley is in Temple, Texas. This is something else, Toad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's a Harley dealer t-shirt. It's
nice.
really cool.
You're getting all the presents lately.
Yes, I am. It says, this is a thank you note. It says, thank you, Kellie and Alan.
So, well, you're welcome.
We wanted to send Alan these t-shirts after hearing that he couldn't find a come and go shirt on his way to Sturgis. We've got them everywhere in the Springfield, Missouri area, God's country. We also thought Alan might enjoy the name, Toad Suck, Arkansas. Keep the podcast coming. We love them. Elise and Tyler Hartley.
There you go.
Toad Suck Hartley. It's in Arkansas. So there you go.
You're not supposed to lick a toad because that can make you, what is the rule on that? Didn't people wasn't there like a rumor that if you lick toads, you could get high? And so a lot of people were running around licking toads and it's like really bad for you. Am I hallucinating? That's true, right? You're supposed to hallucinate if you lick a toad. But that's right?
It's really acceptable nowadays to lick a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think you're supposed to lick it. Don't lick a toad. But anyway, there's that. All right, so we have got to talk about, and Alan's like, we shouldn't talk about this. How can we not talk about this? What's going on with P. Diddy Puff Daddy? Because this is it's fascinating that this is happening. And up until it was last November that we were on the kids trip at Walt Disney World. We take, for over 30 years, Kid Craddock, may he rest in peace, started this charity where we take chronically, terminally ill children with life-threatening conditions on this all-expenses paid trip to Disney World with their family to forget about it and just enjoy the most magical place on earth. While we're there, we still do our regular Kid Craddock morning show. And that includes celebrity gossip. I'm in charge of that. And while we were there, it was the week before Thanksgiving, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie, filed a lawsuit against him, a $30 million lawsuit. And she was accusing him of all sorts of awful things, of sex trafficking, of, forcing her to be part of these parties where basically women were passed around as party favors that sounds crass, but that's basically what it was. And also of abuse. Because they were like, well, why so long? Because they've been broken up for a long time. She's moved on. I don't know that she's married. She might be remarried or married, but she has children with this new man. But there was this statute of limitations in New York City where if you were going to file a monetary lawsuit, you couldn't file criminal. There's statute of limitations things. I'm not a legal person. I'm saying this
I'm following
really
you.
poorly.
I'm following you.
You could file for monetary damages, even though you couldn't do criminal charges. Hopefully that makes sense. And so she was getting in just a few days before that deadline. Well, Diddy, of course, says, none of this is true, but I'll settle, right? What innocent, $30 million? That's a lot. But Cassie had to keep her mouth shut. She couldn't say anything else. Well, then suddenly, because Cassie came forward, the floodgates opened. And all these other women and a man came forward to say they had been victimized by Diddy. So months have gone on. Remember, his house got raided by the feds.
Didn't they find thousands of bottles of lube?
That's what we're just now finding out.
And baby oil?
Yeah. So they raided his homes in LA and Miami. It looked like Diddy had maybe gotten heads up and was trying to leave because he maybe just travels all the time and he had his plane ready to go to Antigua or something.
Heads up, all right.
But he stayed in Miami. And okay, so this is what happened this week. So we hadn't heard anything. A few lawsuits were coming out. This man who worked as an engineer on his album came out a few months ago and said, I was victimized by Diddy. Whoa. And there's a lot of allegations against Diddy assaulting other male rappers who and participated in other things, but they kept it quiet because, not only is Diddy powerful, if you came out and spoke against him, a lot of people, like this one guy, Diddy blew up his car. So in addition to the sex trafficking charges, he's charged with arson. That's one of the other things they got him for. Very dangerous, powerful man. So people have kept their mouths shut.
So he was like Kevin Spacey and a mafia boss mixed into one.
Beyond. It's like next level. It's the things that are coming out. It's almost like things they do in movies that you're like, that can't possibly be real. I'm starting to think that Hollywood is just holding up a mirror to what's really going on. And because there's no way that people in middle America would believe this crap's happening, but it's really happening. So I'll tell you a little bit about what's happened this week. Right after this, we were just saying how busy our lives are right now. We've got Alan launching his new YouTube channel for Moto Alonso. We've got 3 kids going in 3 different directions, but I got to feed everybody at the end of the day. I want it to be nutritious, delicious, quick, uncomplicated, and also not expensive. And that's why I love our podcast sponsor, Dinnerly. It's the most affordable meal kit I've ever come across. Meals as low as $2.99 per meal. That's amazing. And with our code SANDWICH, what's even more amazing, you can get up to 25 free meals. Dinnerly offers so much variety, over 100 delicious dishes every week, from steak dinners to oven roasted salmon, some incredible takeout dupes. I recently made the one pot pizza tortellini with fontina. That's a family pleaser. One pot means less mess, just 4 simple steps and dinner was done. So delicious. Dinnerly's recipe is completely customizable. You can go with your own proteins. You can swap out for a low-carb side, make it vegetarian. They're the only meal kit with gluten-free customizations. They also have a complete market for grocery essentials, stocked with over 125 items, seasonally updated, changes every week, fresh produce, baked goods, ready-to-eat meals, ready-to-heat meals. With just a few clicks, grocery shopping's done, delivered right to your door. And don't worry about being locked in long-term. Dinnerly's flexible subscription allows you to edit, pause, or cancel anytime.
Make cooking exciting, affordable, and easy with Dinnerly. Head to dinnerly.com/offer/sandwich and use code SANDWICH for up to 25 free meals. Once again, that's dinnerly.com/offer/sandwich for up to 25 free meals. And make sure you use our promo code SANDWICH so they know we sent you.
All right. And remember, those will be in the show notes, because that's a lot to remember if you're writing and listening.
A lot of backslashes.
It's a lot, but it's good. We
Yeah.
love Dinnerly. It's worth it. It's worth that effort.
It's good.
All right. So this week, Diddy and his son, King Combs, they're walking around the streets of New York City.
King Combs?
Yeah, his name is Christian King Combs. I believe they call him King. So King. So anyway, they're walking around the streets of New York City. Even though he's got all these charges against him, he's still a rap star. He's a hero in so many people's eyes. People are taking pictures of him. They're posing for selfies. Like, what up? He's high-fiving everybody. This was, I believe, on Sunday night, maybe Monday night. But that night, 30 minutes after he's high-fiving, Diddy's in his hotel room, and the feds sweep in, place him under arrest, haul him off to jail. So what we found out was Diddy had flown to New York City. He was going to be arrested the next morning. But for some reason, I guess feds decided we need to go ahead and do this now.
Because they're afraid he's gonna bolt.
But his lawyer is saying, look, he was cooperating. He was showing up. He flew here. He didn't have to do that. He was being cooperative. Why did you swoop in and do this whole rigmarole of this? We're placing you under arrest, freeze, and sweeping the room and everything. Why the urgency? Why couldn't they just wait till the next day? We don't know that yet.
One time I heard they beat a guy's door down like that, and they were just looking for documents.
Yeah.
So this guy supposedly had a sex ring going on. So that's probably why
the allegations.
That's probably why there was this sense of urgency.
But they didn't wait till the next morning. They were going to arrest him. They surprised him. They did the sucker punch arrest the night before, but the arrest warrant was sealed. So anyway, I go to page 6 is really good about keeping, because this is all happening in New York. And so it's just easy for me to kind of refer to the article that we referred to this morning on the Kid Craddock Morning Show when we were talking about it. So the judge has ordered Diddy to be held without bail pending his trial.
Mm-hmm.
This is huge because Diddy offered he's like, we'll pay $50 million in bail, but not in cash. He was going to put up his $48 million mansion in Miami and his mother's house as collateral. This is the house Diddy bought for his mama, of course. But you know what? Every mama wants to believe their baby's innocent. Every mama's like, use whatever you have.
Boot his mom out of her own house?
Well, he's going to use it as collateral, because if he skipped bail, then, because as long as he shows up and does what he has to do, house is safe. But so is it because Diddy's a flight risk? Well, Diddy's like, no, I'll wear a GPS monitor. I will limit my travel to between between Miami and LA, where I have my homes. I won't go anywhere but those two places. I'll wear the GPS. The judge still said no. So is it because he's a flight risk? Not necessarily. The prosecutors told the judge, we're afraid he's going to get to witnesses and intimidate them and threaten them into not testifying.
Okay, hold on. So far, this dude, he has just been accused of these things.
Well, there was a grand jury panel where they interview witnesses who come in and they present their case to the grand jury. And this has been going on for months.
Okay.
And they have to decide whether we have enough to move forward. Because a lot of times the case would be so flimsy, it's like, well, this is just, one person's word against another's. But apparently they realize they have enough to move forward with an indictment and take this thing to trial.
Yeah.
So this has been going on for months.
That's what I wanted to know.
So here's the thing I have a question about. If Cassie took the $30 million, we don't know exactly what they settled for. That's what she was suing for, but signed a non-disclosure. Is she then allowed to testify against him in court? Does that become null and void? I don't know, but just
if you were a criminal lawyer, email us at podcast@kellyanallen.com and let us know. Can Cassie
testify
after signing an NDA and collecting her $30 million?
Does she have to forfeit that? But here's another thing. Cassie didn't speak out, but since, her settlement, there was a video that came out that showed Diddy beating her up in the hallway of the hotel. I saw
that. That was awful.
So what happened? There's so many people. Diddy is so powerful.
Dude rolls out in a towel.
He was in a robe. A towel. Yeah. So apparently what we've learned is when she initially filed her lawsuit for $30 million, she listed examples. And this is one of the incidents she described in her lawsuit. And this video suddenly appears now that the cat's out of the bag, proving what she's saying. So apparently in the lawsuit, she said he had gotten super, super drunk or high, one or the other, and he was attacking her. And when he passed out, she got her things and tried to sneak out and go get in the elevator. But he apparently realized what was happening, came down the hallway, and in the hotel security camera, you can see him kicking her butt.
I know.
Dragging her by her hair, kicking her in the stomach, throwing a vase at her. This is violent. But somebody in that hotel decided, hey, that check looks pretty good. I won't show this to anybody, but they didn't destroy it. Because that's the thing. You pay somebody off, but they hold it. You never know when you're going to need it,
just in case they need it. Yeah.
So that came out. So anyway, Diddy's being held without bail until his trial. If he's convicted, he's got so many charges. These people are accusing him of having like these sex parties where he'd go out to clubs with his buddies, right? Mm-hmm. And you're there, and I've been at parties where there have been celebrities there. If they invited me to go back to their, you're flirting, everybody's like, oh my gosh, Diddy's showing me attention. Some other rapper showing me attention. They're inviting me back to an after party. Yeah, who's not going to go? There are a few people that wouldn't go, but if you're flirting and you're excited and you're caught up in the, who wouldn't want to go, right? I mean, you can't say they shouldn't have gone in the first place. You're caught up in the excitement of this huge multi-million-dollar mogul who's charming and friendly, and everybody knows Diddy. Who doesn't love Puff Daddy, right? But then you get back, and suddenly you found your drink's been spiked, and suddenly you wake up and you find out you're being passed around, and the things they're finding, he had like massive quantities of baby oil and lube for these parties. But what they would do in these hotel rooms, they'd have these parties, and then Diddy had his own crew come in and clean up the evidence that any of this debauchery had taken place. Because you can't have just the regular hotel staff, cleaning up that mess. They had to have people come in like cleaners from crime scenes because it was a crime.
My issue with a lot of baby oil and a lot of lube is that a little bit of lube and a little bit of baby oil go a long way. Why do you need so much baby oil?
So disgusting.
And so much lube?
Because have you ever, not just for sexual purposes, but have you ever, like for dry skin or whatever, used a little too much baby oil. The thought of it just makes me itch. I remember, I'm going to tell a little story real quick. My daddy used to
Peek behind the kimono.
My daddy used to use baby oil as a moisturizer, for dry skin.
Right.
You do it right after the shower. You hear to put on lotion or whatever on damp skin, and it helps absorb quicker. But he would do it in the shower. Well, one time I got in the shower right after him. My foot hit that floor, and I immediately went into the splits.
You have a history of slipping in the shower area, in the bathroom area.
Slammed into the wall. I thought I broke my toes. I am not capable of doing.
You have a long history of these falls and slips.
Well,
in these
with the right amount of baby
showers,
with the right amount of baby oil
on tile,
on a wet shower floor, you too can do the splits.
I use coconut oil in the shower.
Yeah, you do. And I tried it in my hair one time. What a nightmare. I could never, almost couldn't get it out.
It's great.
For you.
I slather that stuff all over.
Yeah. So anyway, while Diddy's being held, he faces anywhere from a minimum of 15 years to life in prison. FYI, can you imagine? He's being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Now, this jail, I'm looking at page 6 now, previously housed R. Kellie.
Whoa.
Before, they house you in jail before you go to trial, and they send you to prison.
Where's that dude now? He's in jail, right?
Serving 30 years
for
his child sex crimes, sex trafficking, and racketeering. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Is she still alive?
She's still alive. She was held at the same jail where Diddy is being held. She was sentenced to 20 years for her role in the Jeffrey Epstein case. And I was just watching TV tonight, and Jesse Waters was saying that this jail where Diddy is, it is so like, this ain't no frilly place. He has to get up every morning at 6 a.m. to make his bed and mop his own cell room floor. And then he's actually held in isolation for his own protection. He has 1 hour of time to go out and get recreation every day, probably by himself, because can you imagine the notoriety that would come from another prisoner who takes Diddy out?
You know what you can do is not have sex parties and drug people.
And this would not even be an issue.
And then you wouldn't be in there. But,
And I know we live in a place, in a country, where you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. But this ain't looking good.
You're presumed innocent?
You're presumed innocent until proven guilty. Isn't that how it goes?
Yes.
You made me question. I said it.
I thought you said proven innocent before.
Presumed innocent. I mean, if I said proven, I meant presumed innocent.
Yes.
Until proven guilty is what I meant to say.
Yes.
But it's looking very, very bad for Diddy.
It's looking kind of grim for Puff Daddy.
A lot of people are probably shaking in their boots because there were a lot of famous people who were involved in some of those situations, whether they were willing participants or they found themselves drugged and woke up to things happening. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? I guess I'm jaded because we hear that a lot. Oh, there's going to be all these famous people. They're on this list. Where's the list?
But they're powerful.
Where's the list?
They're powerful people.
Where's the list?
Have a way of keeping things quiet. I don't know. But that's what's going on. And I told Al, it's just so fascinating. I had to talk about it because.
No, it's it's a
Big Al was
tragedy, but it is very, very lewd.
Well, Big Al's just saying how just disappointed he is because, he looked to Diddy as a hero. He came up from nothing. He worked, like at the mailroom or whatever, and then ended up starting his own company. But these stories have been, lingering for years and years and years. And finally, these women and some men are, going to get vindication, I hope. I had lunch with my girlfriends today. I love this. Is one of my favorite things to do.
You guys do a lot of luncheon. A lot of luncheon.
Yeah. You know what we talk about? You, our men.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course we do.
What do y'all talk about?
Your ears were burning.
What do you talk about?
Well, just our men. But you know what? The topic of makeup came up. It really did. And of course, I had to brag on Thrive Cosmetics. Whether I want a fresh, clean look or full glam, Thrive Cosmetics gives me beautiful color, easy application, and long-lasting wear. I first discovered their viral liquid lash extensions tubing mascara on Instagram, and since then, I've just fallen in love with all their products. Thrive's Brilliant Eye Brightener comes in 16 shades. I use the Stella Champagne every day. It opens up my eyes first thing in the morning. For drama, I take the Muna shade. It's a mauve taupe metallic shimmer. Sweep it over my eyelid. Use my finger to blend it, and it's an easy smoky eye. If you've been searching for the perfect lipstick, Thrive's new Empower Matte Precision Lipstick Crayon. It's a 2-in-1 lipstick. It's a liner also that allows you to line, define, and fill in it in one step. It's even got a built-in sharpener. 12 beautiful shades. I love the pink mauve Joe. Glides on like velvet, lasts up to 12 hours with lasting color and hydration. And I love Thrive's commitment to community. Thrive Cosmetics donates to 8 major causes, including those impacted by cancer, domestic abuse, and veteran and education organizations.
Refresh your everyday look with Thrive Cosmetics, beauty that gives back. And right now you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/sandwich. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/sandwich for 20% off your first order.
All right, honey. So I don't want to talk much more Hollywood gossip, but I will do this little tidbit. One more little
Tidbit
that we
news?
can move
Is this
on.
tidbit news?
Did you see that Batman is going to get a star
I did.
on the Hollywood Walk of Fame,
I did see
making him the first superhero to ever receive this honor?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I did see that.
This is going to be happening. I think there's going to be one more podcast recording before this happens, so it'll be a while before we can talk about it here. But does that open the door? I think, we just had, James Earl Jones passed away.
Mm-hmm.
The voice of Darth Vader. Does this open the door for other iconic movie characters like a Darth Vader to have his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? And then, going back to the Batman being inducted, who's going to show up for that? Are all the Batmans that are still with us going to show up? Adam West has passed away, but he already has a star. Is Michael Keaton going to be there? My favorite Batman. Is Christian Bale, your favorite Batman, going to be there? George Clooney, who wishes that he'd never been Batman because that bombed so badly. And Val Kilmer, who's, his health is rapidly declining. It's just interesting to see how that's going to play out. And what does that open the door for?
It's a good question. I'd say Superman and Batman. I wouldn't even say Darth Vader. Superman and Batman. That's it. Where's Superman? Yeah. I think Superman and Batman they're the OG superheroes, right? Spider-Man he's a little later.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised.
I mean, you throw Spider-Man in there, you're going to throw Aquaman in there. Who else are you going to throw in there? The Green Lantern?
But why Batman before Superman?
Another good question. I'd have put Superman in there first.
I could see if it's like a marketing move because, a lot of times these things happen because they've got great publicists and they're like, oh, a new Batman movie's coming out. This would be great timing to coincide with the launch of a new movie. So here's Batman getting a star. And the thing is there's a Hollywood Chamber of Commerce or whatever that has to approve. You can nominate Alan Evans and Kellie Rasberry to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That doesn't mean we're going to get approved, but then after that, you have to pay. It's like tens of thousands of dollars because you have to pay for the spot, the ceremony, and then the maintenance of the star. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know.
Those are good questions. But speaking of Hollywood stars, throw a little tidbit news at you. Did you see that Ewan McGregor got his star?
I did.
Got his Hollywood star. So Ewan McGregor played
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, Obi-Wan, of course, but he's been in a lot of movies. I mean, a lot of rom-coms. The dude can sing, and dance. He's a very talented actor, but I know him from Obi-Wan. Also, he's a very avid motorcycle rider and collector.
He's one of the inspirations for you launching your channel, wouldn't you say? Inspired you by his documentary?
Yeah. He's got a documentary on, is it on Disney? Yeah, it was on Disney. Called I've talked about it on the podcast, The Long Way Around, The Long Way Down, and The Long Way Up, where he and his friend Charlie, they go around the world on motorcycles. Yeah, it's really cool. But they did that 3 times. So yeah, he got his Hollywood star, and Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin Skywalker in all the Star Wars movies. They've got this and I love it. but they've got this kind of like bromance, friendship going, you know, and I really think it's cool. I'm really glad that they're hanging out and they're saying really nice things about each other. I don't know why it's cool. I guess it's positive. It's sentimental. It's nostalgic seeing those two together. But yeah, Hayden was at the ceremony and he was saying, Ewan was the best Jedi Master I ever had. You know, all these like Star Wars throwbacks that were like, as a Star Wars fan, you're like, oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was pretty neat. And then we were going to talk about real quick. We were going to talk about the Jane's Addiction, like meltdown, debacle.
Well, you're probably more familiar with their music than I am. I'm familiar with Dave Navarro, only because he's got celebrity status beyond the band. I first became familiar with him when he was with Carmen Electra.
Yeah,
so that whole romance.
Yeah,
and then
Jane's Addiction, like
then
alternative band from the 90s.
Yeah, so I didn't follow their music, and then Alan and I watched Ink Masters, and he was the host of Ink Masters, which is the only reason we got Paramount Plus, because it was on that that streamer, and then we lost interest, and he quit hosting it. So I'm not as familiar with their music. What is like their biggest hit or hits?
Been Caught Stealing is probably one of their.
How's that go?
It starts out with the dogs barking, and
like woof 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 woof, woof just like that. Woof woof woof. Yeah, no, woof.
Keep going. Been caught stealing once when I was 5.
Woof woof woof.
I just can't get in.
Never heard that in my life.
And it's just a simple fact. When I want something and I don't want to pay for it. No, the barking stops after that.
Don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's one of their biggest hits.
I don't think I've heard it.
Anyway, so they're playing this concert the other night, Jane's Addiction.
They reunited the band.
I guess they got all the original guys. The singer's Perry Farrell, and dude was always a little weird. Dave Navarro's a little weird too.
Well, yeah, you're a rock star. You're eccentric. And...
Well, not weird, just eccentric.
Yeah.
Perry Farrell, he's always had like substance abuse, and it's common knowledge.
Shocking.
Yeah, forever he has. So they're playing a concert the other night, and they start the song, and you see the lead singer Perry Farrell runs over to Dave Navarro, the guitarist, who's just sitting there playing his guitar, and starts wailing on him, like chest bumps him, and then starts trying to wrestle him and push him.
He didn't actually punch Dave though, right? Didn't
he starts trying to bowed up at him and starts pushing on him.
Yeah, Dave was keeping it calm, but then the other, like a bassist or another guitarist, came over,
tried to break him up,
Perry in a headlock, and then punched him in the gut.
Big ugly scene. So they basically
stop. Over.
You know, the lights come on and everyone's like, WTF.
Show over and tour canceled. Well, I saw an Instagram from Perry Farrell's wife. I saw the thing happen, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Didn't know any of the details. Well, then the next thing I see is a post from Perry Farrell's wife having her man's back.
Oh, she said, you know what? This is real unfortunate. Perry was really upset that the band was playing so loud he couldn't hear himself.
He's drowning out his vocals.
Yeah, he's talked about how he can't hear himself, and he's basically told me that he just has to scream in order for him to hear himself because the band is so loud. That was kind of the gist of her post.
But doesn't he have inner ears that's supposed to?
Says he has tinnitus, which I think.
So he can't.
Most people, James Hetfield from Metallica has tinnitus. They all have tinnitus.
From all that loud.
Yeah, from all the loud music their entire lives.
But she did credit Dave for keeping cool, and then slammed the other guy for sucker punching her husband, basically. Yeah.
He did get sucker punched. So Dave Navarro comes out and says, well, you know, the reason we've had to play so loud is because dude can't sing. Dude's been like on drugs and drinking like forever, and he needs some help. The dude needs some help. So we're not going to play anymore with him. We're not going to, the tour is over until he gets some help, because that's what's going on.
So they're not going to try to replace them. They're hoping this is a tough love situation.
He can't sing, and that's the reason we just have tried to just keep playing and play over him, and he's unable to keep up. That's what I got from it. So those were the two viewpoints. One is, oh, they're playing so loud, I have to yell. The others is, well, actually, you're drunk and you're just screaming and not singing, And if we take out all of the music, all of the guitars, the bass, and the drums, and you just sing and listen to that, it's horrible. It's terrible. So yeah, we're not going to do this anymore.
Oh, and they isolate the vocals.
Right, they isolate the vocals. Right,
and you can hear they've busted so many artists.
Yeah,
that just are either singing along with the track, so it's like really off. They're more studio musicians, not touring musicians, and things like that. That'd be interesting to hear.
I don't think we did Been Caught Stealing justice. I think we butchered it really bad. You got the dogs right though.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't know what else do they sing.
You put me on the spot now. They got a lot of good songs. That first album that song was on was great. I listened to that in college all the time.
I don't know. That wasn't in the 90s. I was listening to Backstreet Boys, Britney.
Speaking of, isn't Bye 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 redone and it's in the new
Kanye,
the new Marvel.
I don't. Oh yeah, with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, Deadpool. That's what
I'm not sure. We still haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
I know that Kanye sampled "Backstreet's Back." All right, or Everybody. That is the same song. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. Kanye sampled it, but apparently there's some loophole where he could because Backstreet Boys did not give their permission for that. Man, this has been a very celebrity heavy podcast, which, just delights my soul. I love it. But we also have to talk about a couple of other things besides celebrities. And that is Dylan celebrating his big birthday. I'll tell you what, guys, we have the next golf superstar on our hands. This is my retirement plan.
You think
Dylan?
So? You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. It's a tough sport. A lot of good golfers out there, but he he got more golf stuff for his birthday. He turned 12 yesterday. So we had a little get together at the Evans Manor, and he seemed very happy with his new golf clubs and tees and hat, and
he got a golf book
and a book, and
that's all the kid wants to do is play golf. But that's the thing about golfers: you have to play pretty much all day, every day to achieve the status, right? To go out on the tour, it has to be your whole life. And so it's been really fun watching him be so passionate about it. But
you won't believe this. He just as we started talking about this, he just texted me. It's like he's listening.
Literally?
So he just texted.
What did he say?
He sends me a picture of this putter, and he says, "I have a putter I want to try. Do you think we can try it on Friday?" See, I told him we could go hit balls in practice after school on Friday. So isn't that funny? He's always thinking about it.
Always. But isn't that what it takes?
Yeah.
It's like with Emma Kellie, she had a natural talent for volleyball, but she didn't want to do any of the extra stuff. And so it just kind of was like a little something to do to kill time. But with Dylan, it's like, that's all he wants to do. That's literally all he wants to do. So I'm excited.
You got to love it. That's what I've told
I'm going to be one of the golf moms, the tour moms.
I've told him, you got to love it. Even the practice. And he said, "Dad, I didn't realize like in golf, like," he said, "my other sports, I like to play, but the practices, they're not as fun as I love to practice golf." He said, "I just think the practice is fun." And I said, "Yeah, that's one of the things I really enjoyed about it too, was I could just go out by myself and, hit shots, and it was fun."
Well, Big Al is in. We talked about that. He had his second official golf lesson today.
Who's he taking?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but you need to. We need to suit up with Big Al and go out one day.
Let's let Big Al get to where he can hit it out of his face, and then we'll go play.
I'm telling you, he's playing like every day, like 5 out of 7 days a week. He's been playing for the past 2 weeks.
Does he get any better?
Wait, I don't know. I haven't seen him. Take his word for it, but you know how that is. You know how people.
Maybe he'll.
You know how men are when they talk about, I don't know, playing sports, driving, their sex lives.
Maybe he'll talk about it on.
They all brag a little more than what's really true.
Maybe he'll talk about it on the Black Planter.
That's gone. Oh. He doesn't do that anymore.
Does he not?
No, he does not. But Alan, he's really getting more involved in filming his YouTube channel. And he's going to be talking, taking like little road trips and adventures. And if y'all haven't, we'd love it if you would just take a minute, go to YouTube and search at Moto Alonso, right?
Moto Alanzo.
and also follow on Instagram. But that YouTube
Yes.
channel is really good because he's like posting interesting videos. That's like we had a friend that's just gotten a Can-Am Riker, and she's having to get a helmet, and she's like, I don't even know where to begin buying a helmet. So you're going to do a video like on just different helmets, because who knew you needed more than one helmet for different purposes.
Yeah, we were texting back and forth, and she was asking me some questions about it. And then I got to thinking to myself, these are things that I wish I had known when I was going to the store and looking online. I mean, I kind of learned trial and error and buying the wrong thing, and then I'd have to sell on eBay, and then I'd buy something
every
else.
day
Oh
he
my
was
gosh.
boxing up something and reselling it because it didn't
Yeah,
work.
but our friend, actually the CEO of the CMO of the Wacky Marketing Department.
I didn't know if we were putting that out there.
Well, she's with the Wacky Marketing
Yeah,
Department.
yeah.
Yeah. She heads up the Wacky Marketing Department. She was texting me, and she was asking these questions about helmets. I'm like, this would make a perfect video.
Yeah.
How to shop as a beginner. What do you look for in a helmet?
Yeah.
Like, that's just not something you think about.
So it's going to be very useful. And it might be something you're curious about, is like, do I really want to do this? Because, you know, another friend of ours, she's an empty nester, and it's really been taking a toll on her. And it's hard. It's hard. I'm not looking forward to it myself, but you know, the idea of getting out there on, you know, the Can-Am Riker and riding, it's just so freeing. And she's like, this is something I need. So now, you know, if you're on the fence about, do I really want to do this, Alan's channel can maybe help you decide to pull the trigger or not, right?
Yeah.
Be helpful like that.
Maybe.
It's not just for about 2-wheel motorcycles. You can also do some 3-wheel stuff too.
I'll be doing a little bit of everything.
A little bit. But you know what? While Alan's filming all these videos, he's going to be taking off on adventure by himself, because I still gotta, you know, work my Monday through Friday job. So he's going to be leaving me alone for days at a time sometime, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
And you know who looks forward to that more than me?
Larry.
Larry and Zoe. Because every time Alan goes out of town on one of his motorcycle trips, I let the dog sleep in the bed with me. And our dogs love our Helix Sleep mattress as much as we do. Alan and I squeezed into a queen-size bed for the first year of our marriage. Then we had enough of that. And I found Helix online and did my research and found these incredible reviews. And then I had Alan go online and take the Helix Sleep quiz. And in just 2 minutes, we were matched with the king-size Dusk Luxe. So we've had the best sleep of our lives ever since, and the dogs love it too. So take the Helix Sleep quiz for yourself. Find out which mattress is perfect for you. Their lineup includes 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe and the Ultra Premium Elite collections, Helix Plus for big and tall sleepers, the Helix Kids mattress, which is endorsed by child sleep and medical experts. Your mattress is shipped straight to your door free of charge. You've got 100 nights to make sure you love it. You will. And you'll sleep extra peacefully knowing your mattress comes with a 10 to 15-year warranty, depending on the model.
Helix is offering 25% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. All you got to do is go to helixsleep.com/sandwich. That's helixsleep.com/sandwich. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now.
All right, real quick before we go, we're heading into homecoming season. I know it's different for everybody across the country.
HOCO?
It seems a little early to me, but no, it's not. And our son Cole is in the 10th grade, and he's going to homecoming. And so night before last, or maybe last night, I was like, does Cole have a date? And we have them this year. It's our weekend as homecoming falls. Last year it didn't fall on our weekend. So this year we've got all the homecoming responsibilities. So I'm like, what's the situation with the mums? Because in Texas, it's all about homecoming mums. Now, I didn't grow up in Texas. In South Carolina, this was not a
South
thing.
Kakalaki.
Not a thing. But these mums.
It is in the great state of Texas.
It's almost ridiculous.
God's country.
There is an entire mum shop. It's called the Mum Shop. And it's like a warehouse where, and Emma Kelly's already gone. It's interesting. I always thought the date bought you your mum. And I guess in some cases that is true, but usually it's the parents that do it because these mums are so outlandishly expensive and over the top. They make these giant mums with trinkets and teddy bears and bells. And I mean, they can weigh like 20 pounds. They're so heavy that the girls have to tie ropes on them and hang them around their necks in some cases. So anyway, I said, Cole, I don't really understand. What's the deal here? He's like, well, she's already, his homecoming date. He said, she's already got her own mom. I was like, great. He said, but I need a garter. I had no idea what he was talking about.
You do now, though,
I
right?
do now.
Okay. All right. So this time next year, you'll know all this.
Why are you acting like this is my fault?
I'm not at all.
Because first of all,
you
were zero help whatsoever.
I knew less than you.
I asked Alan, can you text Cole and just find out what the deal is? Okay, I will. After 2 days of I finally took the bull by the horns and I did it.
Wow.
It's true.
Took the rose by the thorns.
I did. And he's
we can't say that bull by the horn stuff.
Why?
We did a whole podcast on that one.
I don't remember. I'm not offended. So there you go. So apparently the boys wear a garter on their arms, on their biceps to the games. I'm like, oh crap. So I got it. Here it is. Let's see. This was Monday night. Homecoming game is Friday night. I know how it is, the chaos of trying to get floral arrangements and things like that when it's homecoming week. I'm like semi-panic mode. But I went online. I found out I could order online. It was so simple. Just the basic situation. Just the mom and no fancy, just some ribbons and stuff. It's like $40, right? That's just for the basic.
Nice.
It looks nice. It's simple. I don't think Cole is a real flashy guy that wanted teddy bears and bells and whistles. He's like I want to fly a little under the radar, but I want to participate kind of guy, right?
Right.
So I went and picked it up today. I was so grateful. But then I was like, well, what about for the homecoming dance? Do you have a corsage? He said, what is that? So that was an indication that he did not have flowers. But then again, corsages, wrist corsages, pin and on corsages, that is out in Texas, or at least in our area. What is in are these little bouquets, like little nosegays, little small bouquets.
What?
They're called nosegays. They're very small. I don't know why they're called nosegays. Maybe because makes you feel so happy and gay when you sniff it. I don't know why they call it nosegays, but they're very small.
Make you feel
bouquets.
What?
Happy and gay. I don't know why they call it nosegays. That's what they're called, Alan. I don't need to bog down. They're called nosegays. They're small bouquets.
Okay.
So last year when Emma Kellie had a homecoming, she wanted a bouquet. I went up there and I waited too late. The florist shop was a sea of pre-ordered, pre-made bouquets. And they were like, sorry about you. You should have put in your order weeks ago. So I'm panicking, thinking I'm not going to be able to get this girl a bouquet. And he tells me, I know she's wearing purple. Well, it's like, what shade of purple? There are 50 different shades of purple. So I go up, and the only saving grace I have is they live in a neighboring city, and our cities where Emma Kellie goes to high school, her homecoming isn't for like 2 or 3 weeks away. So I went in today to the florist shop where I like to go, prepared to throw myself at the mercy of the florists. And she's like, oh, it's fine. No problem. So we ordered just a beautiful all white, safe, simple, and elegant bouquet that we have to pick up on Saturday, where it's nice and fresh. So we'll have it for the pictures. And then what's the situation for dinner? I'm like, Cole, what are you doing for dinner? Do you have reservations? No, there's a group of 8 of us. We're just going to go to this pizza restaurant. I'm like, y'all are going to be standing in line on homecoming night. Homecoming night. They're going to be in line for 2 hours, Alan. But I'm going to let them handle it from here. I did my part.
You did. And for that, I'm very thankful.
Now, what is this?
Because all of that, I'm so glad that you handled it. Because you
weren't.
Well, all of that just made me really tired.
Now you know why I'm always tired. You know why I'm always tired.
Well, you're a lot better at that stuff.
No, you say that because you don't want to do it. Whenever you don't want to do something, you compliment me.
You're a lot better at that
You're a lot better at ordering all the flower arrangements for homecoming. You're a lot better at packing school lunches.
You're a lot better.
You're a lot better
at wrapping,
whatever it is.
At wrapping
presents. Because it's stuff you don't want to do. So you just compliment me.
You're a lot better at ordering the cakes and doing all that stuff. You are, though. It's your thing. It's your thing. It's your bit.
Somebody has to do it.
I know, but you're really good at it. I'm not good at it.
And so what's the situation because Cole isn't driving yet. He's going to get his license in October, a month away from being able to drive said date. But how are we handling transportation for
I
this
don't know.
thing?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Don't know.
That falls on Dad.
Today's Wednesday.
Alan, it's happening Saturday.
This isn't a big deal. We're gonna go run over there.
See,
pick up
this
his.
is the man's
We're
mentality.
gonna run over there, pick up his date, and run him to where he needs to go. What?
So it's done. You are driving.
Well, he's certainly not. So who's gonna drive?
But nobody is. See, ladies, this is what I do with men. Just are like, it'll be fine. It'll take care of itself. Oh, it's a 50th anniversary party. It'll work out 3 days before. What's going on? This is why. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Does it get done?
This is why it's so. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And you're welcome.
I'm too tired to debate you right now. I'm usually a master debater, but I'm just too tired. You've wore me down.
Just listing what I've had to do.
Yeah, just listing all that stuff just made me so tired.
You don't even understand, Alan.
And you're the one that did it.
And now with Emma Kelly's homecoming, we found the dress. It's at the alterationist because the straps are too long and all that. But we didn't take a picture of it or have a swatch. So I was going to get the boutonniere for her date. And I'm like, they're showing me these shades of coral. I'm like, I'm not sure. So I had to go back to the alterations today, take pictures of the dress, take a swatch of fabric. It's just, it's a lot. But you know what? One day I'm going to miss this.
If I can refer to the live studio audience for just a second, they have some feedback on this subject that you've been opining about for the last 20, 30 minutes.
It has not been 20 or 30 minutes.
One of our listeners says, I always feel happy and gay.
Well, good. Then you should have a nosegay to remind you of that every day.
Another says, LOL, Kelly's stress is giving me anxiety.
Y'all don't know what I live with. Him.
Who's him?
You.
Why are you yelling?
I'm stressed.
And then another one of our listeners says, just show up to homecoming with 3 tubes of Ben Gay and some swag from a convention.
Well, it was icy. It was icy hot.
That's good.
It was icy hot.
That's a good point. That would be from Michael Melkos. Thank you, Michael.
So anyway, there you go. That's what we've got going on. It's a lot, but it's fun. It's a fun season of life. It's all right.
It'll all get done. And on top of that,
I'm excited. I'm wondering.
I think there's 28 baseball games this weekend as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of baseball
and soccer.
Yeah. Am I going with you on this driving escorting thing? Because what could happen is while Cole and his date are eating pizza for 4 hours, because that's going to be how long it takes them to get a table, we could have a date night. And then we've got Dylan. We can't probably do that.
Well, you're welcome to. My plan was to take Cole and his date wherever they need to go, but you're welcome to come because we're going to take pictures and all that stuff. You probably want to see the picture or take some pictures, right?
Yeah. We'll work it all out.
We'll work it out.
Thanks to me, we're going to have an agenda. We are going to have an
agenda. We're going to have an agenda now. All of a sudden, we have an agenda.
The girl needs to know what time she's being picked up, where they're going, and what time they're coming home. That is called an agenda.
You know what's on my agenda right now? Bring it home for Jerome.
That's good with me, honey.
You got anything else?
No.
Oh, we did all that?
I think I have talked sufficiently.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff, though. We talked a little P. Diddy.
Talked a little sex trafficking.
What else?
Talked a little
Moto Alonso.
Homecoming.
Talked a little homecoming. Yeah.
A little Batman. Covered everything.
Hollywood stars.
It's a lot.
Sure did. All right.
And Moto Alonso.
Yeah. As mentioned. Now, if you go out there, there's not a lot out there right now. I'm just getting started.
You want to be in on the ground floor of Moto Alonso.
We have listeners of the podcast that tell us all the time, listen since the first one. That was like 7 years ago. I would like you. I'm going to challenge you, good, strong, dear, sweet, clean listener, to be one of the first subscribers to Moto Alonso. Because one of these days, I'm telling you, it's going to be a big thing.
And you can say,
you were there. Alan, I was there, man. I was there when you were sitting on your garage floor crisscross applesauce. You're trying to put on a freaking air cleaner on that motorcycle. You didn't know what the frick you were doing. And now look at you. Just telling you.
Don't miss it.
Don't. That's right. All right, babe.
Jerome's waiting for you to bring it home.
Oh, how could I forget? Let's just spend the
I
last.
thought we were done.
No, we have 60 more seconds.
What did somebody remind you of in the chat room? Because
Nobody
you obviously forgot.
Nobody reminded me of anything. I do this from time to time. The term "let's bring it home" for Jerome. There was a football player who played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He played college at the University of Miami. He was a great player. His name was Jerome Brown. Jerome Brown was in, this is not funny, he was in a tragic car accident when he was a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. He died. Oh. He was a star player. Everybody loved him. He was a great player, great in the community. The fans loved him. He died. So the Philadelphia Eagles that year, they dedicated the season to Jerome Brown, and they said, let's bring it home for Jerome. So that's why I say let's bring it home for Jerome.
Now it's sad.
No, it's kind of like we're going to bring it home for Jerome, man. We're going to finish this. So that reminded me of your Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my gosh, Alan. Don't do this now.
30 seconds.
All right, I'm timing you.
What's a good way of saying what happened against the Nolan Saints? They tripped on their
We're going to start the show with penis talk and end it with penis talk.
They tripped on their dingus. What happened?
I don't know.
Well, they lost like 42-10 or something.
It's embarrassing.
Are you still standing by that 14-3 and winning the Super Bowl thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm still a true fan, but I'm not happy with what happened. But I'm still a very true fan, and I believe we're going to the Super Bowl. Some man told me in my DMs that my prediction was garbage. And I said, that was not very nice. And he apologized. And I said, I accept your apology.
So the Cowboys have this dude, and I'm sure he's a very, very nice man. His name's Deuce Vaughn. He's a running back. This is his second year. Deuce Vaughn is 5'5". He's listed at 180 pounds. I don't think the dude's 180 pounds.
Well, they always lie.
Yeah, I think the dude's more like 150 pounds. So I was texting my dad and my brother-in-law about Deuce Vaughn and how whipped I am that the Cowboys gave Deuce Vaughn the ball like 3 times. They gave him the ball. He runs the ball into the back of his lineman and then falls down. He's 5'5", 150 pounds. Pro football is for like big guys, isn't it? But we draft this little guy. Why did we do that? Why? I understand if he's fast. Why do you run him like right into the back of your lineman?
Emmitt Smith wasn't a tall man.
Emmitt Smith was 5'9", 215, which was considered small.
Yes.
Deuce Vaughn is 5'5",
really 5'5"?
He's listed at 5'5", which means he's probably 5'4". My sister is 5'4".
That's crazy.
Dylan's a little under 5 foot. Cole's 5'6" now. How tall is Emma Kellie? 5'6"? 5'5"?
She's 5'5", yeah.
5'5". She's as tall as Deuce Vaughn.
Wow.
So that's the guy we got giving him the ball. I just didn't understand the entire game. I just didn't get it.
I wasn't able to watch because I was at a baby sprinkle.
Yeah, you were at a sprinkle. I was watching that misery.
All right. That was more than 30 seconds.
So there you go.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. This week we've got the Baltimore Ravens.
All right. We'll do better.
At the stadium, AT&T Stadium.
We will do better.
Yep. All right, babe. Well, love you desperately.
I love you.
Love our listeners desperately.
I love y'all.
I love Ewan McGregor desperately.
Yes, you do.
I don't love P. Diddy desperately.
No.
I do not.
Bad man.
I do not love him desperately or condone any of his activities or behaviors. But I do love Ewan McGregor desperately and the Dallas Cowboys desperately. And I am sure we will podcast again real soon. And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich. Bye.
You're going to have to adjust that light. It is searingly bright. Or I'm going to have to wear sunshades. That's the 2 alternatives.
Searingly bright.
All right, y'all. I got to go. I got to go let Larry out.
Larry.
And change out the laundry.
Oh.
Bye. Thank y'all. Gutfeld's on. I left it on so you can just rewind it.
Oh, okay. Okay, peeps. Yeah, I know, Cole. That's the reason he got drafted. Because most teams don't draft a dude that's 5'5", 150 pounds. That just doesn't make any sense. All right, peeps. We will see you on the Medja, and we will talk to you soon, okay? Thanks for being here. Got a case of the sleepyhead today. I don't know what my deal is. See you, Charles. Thanks, everybody. We will talk to you all soon.